Howdy, it's your boy. So, yeah, school started. Um, so I'm not going to be able to put out as many videos as I would like to. Trust me, I'm recording. I have a bunch of B-roll footage that I have saved up that I can't wait to show and edit and all that. But for the time being, I think school is heavily going to impede my process of making these videos. But I was able to come out with this one, so anyways, yeah, so I'm taking this background and like set design class for animation, and to prepare for it, I wanted to look up how to like, I kind of wanted like a general knowledge of like how to speed paint and like how to, I guess, form landscapes and stuff like that, because that's a big weakness of mine. A lot of my characters unfortunately live in the white void, in the abyss of, the blank canvas, which yeah, it's a weakness for me, and I wanted to fix that because I think it's pretty fun to see like how the environment can contribute to storytelling, and how it can like affect your character, and like not just the environment that they're in, but like, it affects their lighting, it affects the tones, the values, the colors that you even want to like put on your characters and stuff like that. So I figured, I should probably go into this class with like some sort of knowledge of how to paint landscapes. While trying to look up or trying to figure out how to get started in even doing a landscape, you know, it's always a good practice to kind of look up some reference or look up, what other people are doing. So went onto YouTube and I found this video by Blue Biscuits. Yeah, Blue Biscuits. So in her video, she shows how to like block in these shapes, and it's like she's doing a bunch of quick little speed paintings, being very loose, just mainly blocking in colors. And I think that's one of the things that I struggle with, is that I'm so used to creating things with lines, and I don't ever think about like a mass of shape and color, I guess. I'm a very like, I don't know, I've only used, majority of my art time has been spent using a pencil or a pen. I don't really experiment with like these things that bleed color or big forms and things like that. So watching this video kind of gave me like a new perspective of how I can like block things in using just like a simple brush. I'm using a square rectangular brush. It's very I'd have the pressure opacity on, and I think that kind of helps, at least it helps me not keep things, they're not very blocky, like they're kind of soft. But then again, I also think that's kind of a bad thing now that I'm looking back at this. I think some of these are too soft. It could use, or like most of these could benefit from like harder edges and stuff like that. But anyways, I think on some of these speed paintings, I think I did okay. I think, and I only did these for maybe about 10 minutes, 10 minutes-ish, somewhere around there. I didn't want to take too long, because then that's when you start adding like too many details, or you start refining it too much, trying to polish it. And these are really just really quick studies. They're not supposed to be taken, or they're not supposed to be masterpieces. They're just supposed to be like for you to wrap your brain around creating, I guess, a good composition and how things are placed within an image, kind of like that sort of thing. But yeah, I think I did do kind of decent. Some of these I kind of lost the mark. Some of them are just, I think the proportions are just a little too off, and there's not enough value. I want to say, I mean, there's some, how do I put this? I notice one of the things in my work is that I always have problems with like value. I feel like something is just like, it's always at like a 50% gray. And that might be because I have the white canvas behind. I've started, and you'll probably see in like more of these videos, I start using a 50% gray background, and I think that's been helping a lot. But I think looking back on these early speed paintings, yeah, the colors are very muted. Granted, I am color picking, but even with color picking, I'm still, I'm not color picking enough, or I'm not picking maybe the more bolder colors or the more sharper colors, because some of these do just look like a little muted, a little flat. There's some of these where I kind of miss out on the forms. Some of the forms are a little off, but overall, I think for 10-minute studies, I don't think they're too bad. But yeah. Okay, so let me ask. I'm kind of curious. This is for This is for everybody. I've asked a couple of friends this question, but I kind of want to see if anyone else is watching this who I don't know personally. Maybe, I don't know, just anybody really. But so knowing that I was going to take this environment set design class, I did this to prepare for that class because I didn't want to be. I think this does stem a lot from like my insecurities with my artwork, but what I didn't want to happen, I didn't want to be. I didn't want my artwork to fall behind everyone else. I kind of want to I want to keep up with the crowd because some people are putting out amazing work, and I want to put out amazing work too. But I just don't know how to do it. Granted, I know this class is for learning these things. I know I'm going to learn as I take this class, but I kind of wanted to start off strong, you know what I mean? Does anyone else feel like that? Is that just a me thing? Is that I'm sure it probably just, like I said, stems from like me not being confident in my art abilities, but I just don't want to I'm afraid of everyone else being like at their peak, having like top tier art, and I'm just kind of lagging behind, just trying to figure out how to like compose something or block things in or keeping things too loose while people are painting like these masterpieces of just beautiful, gorgeous environments. I don't know. That was a thing for me too. I just wanted to be prepared to like be able to keep up with the people in this class or that we're going to take this class. But yeah, I'm kind of curious to know if like anyone else feels that way or they feel the need to prepare themselves for a class or to like get a head start, because I don't know, I feel that way. Maybe other people do too, and like yeah, it can be a struggle, but you know what, I don't think it's too bad of a thing because I am doing it, I guess, a little bit out of fear, but it's not consuming me a lot. And I think my art did improve from doing these quick studies. And of course, I'm trying to do these I'm not putting a lot of stress on these. Most of these, I sped up the footage, obviously, but like a lot of these I spent like on Discord talking with friends and watching TV shows and things like that. So it was really chill and stuff. But, you always got to keep the grind going because, especially when you go on these breaks, if you're an art student, specifically a student, because if you're doing art like on your own, I mean, you probably have a schedule of some sort, but as a student, you kind of do an intense amount of artwork for around 3 to 4 months, and then break happens, and at least in my situation, I kind of stop. I draw every so often during a break, but like I really use that time to like not do art. And it's not that I don't want to do art, it's like I do have projects that I set up for myself, and I do kind of like get around to some of them, little doodles here and there, but nothing like serious for like practicing and stuff, which only makes sense. We're given a break for a reason. We're supposed to enjoy that time off and not worry and stress out about assignments and things like that. But it is what it is, I guess. But yeah, I'm just really curious to know if anyone else feels that way, because yeah, I wonder, I feel like it's a common thing, but maybe it's not. Who knows? I wouldn't know. Anyways, yeah, so I'm sure, I don't know if you guys can tell, but I can kind of tell by looking at like these last speed paintings, these last ones I'm kind of improving from the ones that I did in the beginning. There's some things that I'm picking up, and one of the things, now that I'm looking back, I noticed that I put a lot of unnecessary, or I start going into a lot of unnecessary detail. Excuse me. Yeah, unnecessary detail. I go into a lot of unnecessary detail, and it's kind of a problem because if you see, actually not even if you see, a lot of people talk about how you shouldn't be so zoomed in. If anything, you should have the canvas a little bit zoomed out so you don't focus on all these tiny details, but unfortunately I do that a little bit. I don't know, I guess it's just maybe a habit that I've built into myself or something, but yeah, like there's so many little details that I shouldn't be going into, especially with these quick speed paintings. I should, looking back, and I'm gonna try to incorporate this into like more of my artworks now, but yeah, focusing on these little details, zooming in, doing these little itty bitty things instead of focusing on the object as a whole. Yeah, that's something I gotta fix, because that not only increases the amount of time that I'm spending on these and I should be knocking these out pretty quick, but I'm adding more time the more detail I put in, and Yeah, that's something I definitely need to fix. I'm kind of glad I'm seeing this now, just because I feel like if you don't record yourself, or not if you don't record yourself, but if you don't look at your process, if you're not like self-aware during the time that you're creating these things, you kind of will get back into the same mistakes, or you might go back into the same you might do the same. You know what I'm trying to say. I'm not trying to make the same mistakes twice. And now that I can see like where it's happening, it's usually midway through the painting. Like I get a simple block in, and then I just go straight to detail. Now I got to be a little more consciously aware. And yeah, to anyone else who wants to like get good at background painting, environments and designs and stuff like that, I highly recommend just recording yourself, seeing what you're doing right or wrong. And even if you don't have like Photoshop or something like that, just get like a camera or something, and videotape yourself. Take a video of yourself drawing, maybe time lapse it if you can, of course, but see what you're doing. Maybe you find that halfway through working you get distracted and then you lose sight of your vision or something, or maybe you do the same thing I'm doing. Maybe you're putting too much detail in the beginning or midway through, when that should be like the last step of your process. I don't know, but that's one of the tips that I can give for right now. Another one, of course, just block in shapes. I'm noticing, even though these are not the best paintings by far, you can still kind of, if you squint, maybe, but you can still kind of tell what they are even by just the block-ins that I have. So definitely don't do what I'm doing, but do what I'm doing, but better. Do that. And yeah, pretty cool. Yeah, that's all I kind of wanted to say. I just wanted to look at these speed paintings. I don't know. I think they're fun. But yeah, I think that's about it. I'm going to go create some more artwork. Thanks for tuning in to another video. I appreciate y'all watching. Yeah, I will see you guys in the next one. Laters. Still have no idea why I'm doing that. Day 2 of me not knowing why. I don't know why I'm doing that. You know what? Maybe it'll be a thing. No, it's not. I don't want to do that anymore. Okay, bye.